Well, next to an issue that dates back to 2019, that's not just a threat to public safety, but has cost the city of St. Paul more than $1 million. And tonight, finally, Lou shows us a break in the case that hopefully is the beginning of the end of the copper wire theft from street lamps. Lou?
Jana, 6 people are charged in a complex investigation into the theft and sale of copper wire. But the question remains tonight why the metal recycler who was paying for the stolen wire is not facing any consequences.
Along the most beautiful running and biking trails in St. Paul are distinctive lampposts, some glowing, others dark.
It's a tragedy that those kinds of things are going on.
The problem is copper theft. Thieves who crack open the repair panels on the historically designed streetlights, string the wire right out, then sell it to metal recyclers who are willing to buy it even when obviously stamped with City of St. Paul Public Works.
It's terrible that somebody will take advantage of it by buying that and selling us taxpayers down the river.
Now 6 people are charged in a crime ring allegedly led by 41-year-old Kwa Clay after a St. Paul police investigation that included a confidential informant and an undercover officer. According to the criminal complaint, the informant told police Clay's crew would steal the wire from St. Paul streetlights and that Demcon Metal Recycling in Blaine would buy the copper metal. They would pay $3 a pound if the insulation was stripped off the wire and $2 a pound if it was still labeled City of St. Paul. So an undercover officer posed as a copper thief and rode along with the crew. According to the complaint, the officer was there when the transaction took place. And the Demcon Metal Recycling employees were so familiar with Clay that they did not ask him for his ID. Clay and his crew are accused of stealing wire from 25 streetlights near the Marshall Street Bridge, causing $125,000 in damage. They're also implicated in copper thefts in other neighborhoods, causing $85,000 and $225,000 worth of damage. All told, the copper theft in the city of St. Paul has cost the city millions. It has even cost at least one life, according to a Minnesota state lawmaker.
That was the moment that I realized that copper wire theft is more than a mere inconvenience or a perpetual infrastructure expense. It's a public safety crisis.
After Steve Wirtz and his dog were struck and killed Christmas Eve while crossing the street darkened by thieves, Representative Athena Hollins has a bill in the legislature that aims to restrict the sale of scrap copper wire to people who buy a state license.
Anybody here pissed off?
Citizens have expressed their frustration at the problem at meetings in the city, and city and state leaders say the scrapyards have a role to play.
People are stealing copper because a small number of businesses are looking the other way and not asking questions.
But one of the most conspicuous things left out of the charges, even though Demcon Metal Recycling allegedly purchased the marked wire right in front of an undercover cop, the business is not facing charges.
I did speak today with the COO of Demcon Metal Recycling. He would not acknowledge that his employees were knowingly buying stolen copper wire, despite what the court papers say. He told me he's glad that the suspects were caught. Jana.
Lou, you're no stranger to court papers. They're named in those charges. Could there be charges against Demcon if they make a case?
That we just don't know. The COO says that they are cooperating with police, and I think that a lot of people will be asking why the people providing the financial incentive are not being held accountable.
All right, Lou, thanks so much for that report.